Alright, hi everyone. Okay, so this is something which came through the post today and I'm really excited to get this. I've been looking forward to this for a while now, and now that it's here, yeah, it really has lived up to expectations. Anyway, this is the Tornado exclusive edition statue by First4Figures, and it's from their classic Sonic the Hedgehog range. And this thing is a beast. No, really, it is. I was quite shocked at the size of this when it actually came through the post. And to give you an idea of the scale, I've actually got it propped up against a door. Now this door is just over 2 meters high, and the door handle is about 1 meter high. So yeah, this thing is huge. Look at that. Okay. So let's take a look at the actual box first of all before we take a look at the actual statue. And I'm kind of in two minds about the box. For example, when it came, it was in a big cardboard box itself. Yeah, the box was in a box. And when you open it up from the top, and the first thing you see is this massive Sonic the Hedgehog logo, and this looks awesome when you first see that. But then when you take it out of the box, the packaging looks a bit... I don't know, I don't think it looks as good as other statues. Basically what's happened is Sega has started to standardise all the Sonic packaging. It all has to follow a certain design, so it's a lot easier for people to recognise in the stores. Unfortunately, it looks like First4Figures have to do that now as well. You'll probably spot this with some Palindone and Half Moon Bay stuff. They have to have like this orange jagged edge going up the side, which is obviously here. So yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed with that. And oh, there's something else I want to point out. There's an image here of the actual statue which has been heavily photoshopped, and this flame here, because the reason why this is exclusive is it's got lighting effects, and the lighting effect is on the flame. Now notice here how the colour is bright yellow. Yeah, these light beams here are obviously fake and photoshopped, but it's clearly a yellow in colour. Now we'll get back to that later. Anyway, let's take a look at the rest of the actual box. On the side here we've got another shot of Sonic on the Tornado, and we've got a blurb on the back here which basically says, "After a harrowing fight on the decks of the Wing Fortress, Dr. Eggman makes a last-ditch attempt to flee and abandons ship to fly himself to his ultimate creation, the Death Egg." Oh, First4Figures, please can we get a Death Egg statue? That would be wonderful. It really, really would. Yeah, that would be cool. Anyway, I'm not reading the rest. It just basically tells you what the statue is about, and that First4Figures is proud to present the Tornado diorama. Hooray! Yeah, and highly limited to 1,000 pieces worldwide, and mine is number 29. Now, you can actually reserve the next number. So if I wanted to, I could go on to my account on First4Figures and reserve this, so the next statue I get is also number 29. I don't like doing that. I kind of like to be surprised at what number I'm getting, whether it's a large number or a small number, and every statue I think I've had a different number, and I've always really looked forward to finding out which one I've got. So yeah, anyway, there's that. And on the side here we've got more details, and yeah, just pay close attention here to the flame on this one. It's sort of more orangey, red and orangey, and there's like a yellow bit there as well. And yeah, and down here again, it's bright yellow. Just remember that later on, that's going to be important. Okay, so that's the box, and let's take a look at the statue. Okay guys, so here it is, fully constructed. Now, this thing is very big when it's constructed, and to give you an idea of scale, here is a DVD case, which is the House of the Dead, just in a PC DVD case, and you can probably tell from that just how big this thing actually is. It is huge, it's enormous. Anyway, and in case you're wondering, yes, that thing over there is a Super Nintendo with Mario All-Stars on the box. Anywho, that's not important right now. What is important is this. Yeah, this thing is massive, and I'm just going to sort of turn it around very carefully so you can sort of get it from better angles. Yeah, the one slight annoying thing is you can't see tails at all if you're looking at it straight on. You have to sort of position it to the side there, and that's a shame because there's a lot of detail on tails there, which I'm probably not going to be able to pick up on the camera very well. But yeah, This is really awesome. Oh yeah, and if you're wondering about Sonic, it's actually got quite a cool little party piece, and I'll get onto that in just a moment. I just want to turn it around a little bit so you can see it in a bit more detail here. And yeah, you can see Sonic is there, and there's the little flying wings there. But it's really cool, and I really like it. And if I just sort of zoom in on Tails there, now there isn't much detail in the actual cockpit of the plane. I'll just very carefully turn it around a little bit more so you can see better. Yeah, there isn't any detail in the cockpit itself, but he is actually holding small controls there, and he does have some detail on his gloves too. And I just thought that was a nice touch there. That was really nice. Anyway, let's take a look at the rest of the statue. Okay, first thing which had a bit of controversy from some people was the base. The base was, some people liked it, some people hated it. I wasn't too sure on it. I kind of like it in a weird way. It's not... I can get why some people don't like it, but I think it's kind of cool. Yeah, I do like it. I don't really know what else they could have done, but yeah, it's something really different to other bases that we've had before, and I do like it. I have to admit, I do kind of like it. Now, I'll just sort of see if I can lower the camera just a little bit so we can take a look. Yeah, here we go. You can actually see there it has the rocket booster there as well, and there's the flame which comes out the back here. Now I'm going to get onto the flame in a little while. I'm just going to talk a little bit more about the actual statue. Now this thing is pretty cool because there's a little bit of a party piece here. Now this Sonic, you can take him off. He's actually held on by a very powerful magnet, and yeah, that's quite powerful. Yeah, he's held on with a very powerful magnet. He's an entire solid piece by the looks of it. Yeah, that small piece inserts in there, but in here is a very powerful magnet, so be careful if you put this on your TV for fun, you will mess that up. But what I like about this is, if say you got this because you wanted it as a collector's piece and you're really struggling for space, it looks so cool just placing Sonic down somewhere. I might actually show you a couple of examples. He will stand up on his own. This is obviously a wooden table, so magnet isn't going to do much. But yeah, he will stand up on his own. Yeah, he will fall over if you sort of knock him or brush him into something. But he is a really cool little figurine just to sort of stand there and pose. So if you are limited for space and you did get this, there is the option to actually have this as your piece, and he does look really awesome. I do really like this little figure. So yeah, I'm just going to put him back on there, and yeah, you can probably tell there how powerful that magnet was. The top wing of the biplane actually came up to meet him there. That's quite a powerful magnet, and I kind of like that actually. I kind of like the fact it's held together with magnets. Yeah, I'm not sure what else there is to say on this. Oh, the propeller doesn't rotate or anything. It's a very simple piece to actually fit in. Again, it is held on by a magnet, and it doesn't rotate, it just sort of snaps into place there. You probably saw it got taken away from me, and I really like that. I like that a lot. It's so much better than the last statue I bought, which was Tails, which I still have problems to this day with, because the pieces don't come out very easily, and I know there's been statues like that in the past, but the fact that these are held on with pretty powerful magnets, I've got to say, that is a big plus. That is so much better than what they've been doing before. In fact, this statue went together very, very easily. It was the most simple construction I've had to do on a First4Figure statue, and I'm very impressed with it, especially how it's put together. And there's one other party piece of this statue, and I'm going to be very careful here for very obvious reasons. You can actually position the tornado slightly. You can probably see it there. I don't want to mess about with it too much because obviously it's an expensive statue. You can position it so it looks like it is flying out of the clouds or flying horizontal. I've left it kind of in its default position now because I just like that a lot more, and I think that looks really cool. Okay, now I should probably get onto the bit which I'm a little bit disappointed with, I guess you could say. And that's the exclusive feature, the lights. Now, I had heard rumours from people I know who are at First4Figures, that there might be a lot more exclusive components on this. Like, apparently at one point there was talk of having some kind of lighting mechanism on the prop, and how there was going to be a lit up console in the controls. However, that hasn't happened. The only thing that has happened is the flame. Now, do you remember the box I showed you? How it was a bright, burning yellow flame? Well, I'm going to turn the lights off now and check this out. Okay, here we go. Alright, so that is the lighting effect. Now, this room is currently pitch black. There's no light sources anywhere other than a very small LED light at the other end of the room coming from a TV. But that is it. And this is the only lighting you get. And that's all there is. And if I very carefully spin it round, yeah, that's pretty much it. And notice as well, it's not bright yellow, it's red. It is just a red colour. It's a solid red light. It doesn't flicker or anything, so it doesn't actually give the illusion of a flame effect. And I'm a little bit disappointed by that, because on previous statues they've made it so that the light pulses or sort of changes to give the illusion of fire. And I have sort of left it on in the dark for a while, and obviously on the camera here, and it isn't changing. It's not changing in intensity, it's not changing in colour, it's just a solid red light. And I'm a little bit disappointed with that, because obviously it doesn't look as good, I don't think. I know that when you watch this through the camera, the camera's going to go through some sort of filter process, and the video is also going to go through a rendering process, so it might change how it looks when you watch this back on video, but here in real life, it isn't that brilliant, I've got to admit. And as far as I can tell, there is no way to change that. It's a simple on-off button. Anyway, let's put the lights back on. So yeah, that's the only disappointment I've got with this, but to be honest with you, am I going to keep the lights on for this statue? Probably not. I've not done it with my other ones. I kind of just put them on occasionally when I'm bored. I don't like leaving batteries in there in case something goes horribly wrong. So why did you buy the exclusive version then? I liked it, and hey, it's an exclusive version, and I thought it looked really cool. So yeah, anyway guys, I guess that's all there is to say on this. I am very impressed with this, and I have to say I had a lot of problems with First4Figure statues in the past, and they have been getting a lot better over the years, and this for me is one of their best pieces they have ever done. Not just the fact it looks really cool, but also the actual construction of it and how you put the parts together. It went together so easily. I can't praise them enough for that. Yeah, the use of magnets, I know I sound like I'm going off on something here with magnets, but considering how before you had to like really ram pieces in, and I have heard in the past people have actually had to get sandpaper to adjust their statues so they'll fit together, this is a much better way to actually build the statues. I think it's brilliant, and thank you First4Figures for this wonderful gift you've given us all. So yeah guys, thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video as much as I've enjoyed getting this statue and having a look at it. And I'll try and position it in a way so I can see Tails a bit better. But yeah, it looks like you had to look at Tails or Sonic on this one, unfortunately. Anyway guys, thanks very much for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe, and hope to see you again next time. Goodbye.